You can't just, take away student debt and then not fill in with some alternative, provide people with some way to finance education. It's still a costly endeavor. And so we tend to think about children's savings accounts as one potential way to help in the long term to resolve the problem. Have people start saving early. Now, we understand that low-income people save small amounts of money. But this is about effort and ability as well. It's about our American value system, that people are investing, that they have some attachment to paying for college. But then we think about things like maybe using a Pell Grant, putting it into those accounts early on. Think about our scholarship programs. If we think about savings and we protect savings as something that can only be used for college and other asset building types of things, can we put that scholarship money into an account early on, let that person leverage it? And so we have to rethink not only student debt problem, but how do we think about financial aid? If it's part of our economic mobility system, then might we dump some of this money into these accounts early on so that kids can see and feel and touch and begin to prepare better because they see some hope in the future. They have some investment in them that they tangibly can hold.
Children's savings accounts are understood as progressively financed tools that facilitate educational outcomes for children universally, ideally. And I think there's a lot of momentum in that field, in part opened by the concerns around student debt. I mean, not entirely. Policymakers are turning to children's savings accounts to address concerns about educational attainment and the persistent achievement gap. But there's also, as there's growing concern about just tangibly how we finance college, more interest in, given the price of college and how, as Willie mentioned, it's impossible to pay for it with a summer of work, but how might we help families do that throughout the lifespan of their child. So places like Maine, where a foundation opens an account for every child born a Maine resident and seeds that account with $500, so that you're not only helping families build assets over that child's lifespan, but you're also really cultivating an identity as someone who saves for college, has a strategy for how they're going to make college actually feasible, and then plants that idea with a child that higher education is going to be a potential path. Different programs around the country use different models and have different features. Nevada opens accounts with smaller initial deposits. The city of San Francisco opened an account for every kindergartner in the public education system. And we're seeing communities like Boston planning to start a program. Other New England states have adopted legislation in this year and will be rolling out initiatives. So I think a growing sense that we need financing mechanisms for higher education that are consistent with the responsibility with which we have invested our education system, which is to be a really viable ladder to make the American dream within the grasp of every child.